You're listening to the Social U podcast, sponsored by Social University. Be sure to follow us on our socials listed in the show notes. Now, let's dive in. I'm Becky Johnson.
And I'm Laura Black.
And welcome to the Social U podcast. Okay, this week the podcast is a little different because if you're listening to it right now, you're also going to have the option to go watch it. We are doing a video podcast today. So if you've always wondered, what do those crazy women look like? You can find out now. I'll go ahead and tell you before you go check it out. Laura is amazingly gorgeous. Karen is a goddess. And Becky is kind of like a tired mom. So
whatever. Give me a break.
But a very happy, tired mom.
Tired mom's a good thing. It means we got kids and that's a blessing. So there you go.
On Mother's Day, as I was sitting in the emergency room for hours, that's what I kept telling myself. Having this child is a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to sit in the emergency room with my son today.
Is he better?
He is. My other kids missed me, but I got to see them when we got home. It was fun. But on the funny side of that, I was supposed to serve in the nursery Sunday, and they made my husband serve in the nursery since I wasn't there. And I can say made, not asked, because he's on staff, so he had to do it. He's really awkward with other people's babies. So it was really funny to me that he was in the nursery in my stead.
That is so funny. My husband is a baby nuts. He loves the babies. So if there's somebody has a new baby, he's always going to be the one that wants to hold it.
Robbie's that way with our babies, but with other people's babies, he's afraid that he's going to drop them, or that because he's like a big man that they're going to be scared of him, or that if they're really little that he's going to squish somebody's baby. And he has never and would never do any of those things. But because it's someone's baby, he's like really nervous about it.
I'm more worried I'm going to offend a new mom who is in super helicopter mode. And I'm really worried about that. So sometimes I have to say, I'm good. It's so funny. My second one, I was much more relaxed. And so I can't imagine you got a couple more than me. So
yeah, by the last one, we're like, oh, he's chewing on the dog toy. That's fine. He's not ever going to have allergies. It's great.
It's great.
It's great. Today's topic is going to be a fun one, I think, unless you are a business owner that is doing one of these things. We're talking about the biggest mistakes that we see businesses make when it comes to social media.
Oh, yeah.
But I will start off with the one that I think is the most important, and that is inconsistency. Mm-hmm. If you post 4 times this week and then you don't post for a month, and then you post twice that week, and then you don't post for a week, and then you post 7 times the next week, one, it looks like you have no idea what you're doing. And if you can't be trusted with social media, what can you be trusted with? And 2, it just makes it seem like you're very unprofessional and like you've gone out of business. If you're not on social media for more than a week, people think you've gone out of business.
How professional do you look if you're not maintaining that presence there? There's a big question mark in some people, and that's really not that great for business. I understand time, but goodness.
If I go look at your Facebook or your Instagram and your last post was 3 months ago, I'm going to assume you're out of business and I should look somewhere else. Because in 2024, nobody's going to go that long without posting on their social media.
Not at all. Not at all. Oh my goodness.
So what's your first one?
I think sometimes you can go so hyper-focused that you are really overdoing, if that makes sense. You're trying too hard and you're push, and you're really wasting a lot of time on something you really need to be more authentic at, I guess.
Nobody likes to try hard. And that is almost the same thing as what I have on one of mine. I put that you don't have any authenticity because you're too polished.
Yeah, absolutely. You lose that personality and nobody wants to, that's boring.
Yeah, people want to see the real you. They don't care about how fancy you can make yourself look. They care about who you actually are.
Yeah, and I'm not saying post in your pajamas. I mean, if you want to, and you have a sleep brand, go for it. But let's be authentic to who we are and show your real self. And I really think that advertising and marketing is a whole lot about relationships. And the more you work on that relationship with your true authentic self to your client, then your business is going to do a lot better.
And we're putting our money where our mouth is today because we're doing the video. This is us. You can look and see that we are not in super fancy studios today. I'm in my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Laura, are you in a home office?
I am. It's kind of just another bedroom too, though.
I think Karen is probably going to be in her dining room. This is who we are. This is how we roll, and we have a good time.
And what a beautiful world that is, that we can do this. That is the one good thing about technology letting us work remotely is great.
And COVID was terrible, but because of COVID, a lot of people have realized you can actually work from home.
Right.
And be just as productive or more productive.
Well, exactly. Exactly. Do you have another one?
Yes. So being on the wrong platform.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when you're selling to 17-year-olds and you're on Twitter and Facebook, you're probably not going to have the impact that you think you're going to have. Whereas if you were on TikTok and YouTube or Instagram, you might be doing a whole lot better. Or if you're selling to 65-year-old men and you're on TikTok, probably not like your best audience.
Yeah, it wouldn't be my best guess at all.
And I'm not saying there's not 65-year-old men on TikTok. I'm sure there are. But if you're just going by the numbers and you want to hit the largest group possible, those dudes are on Facebook.
Yeah, be strategic. It's not exactly chess, but it's not exactly not either.
And listen, Google is your friend. You don't know where people are. You can Google that. You can put in your age range and the gender that you market to, the geographic location you market to, and you can Google that and be like, what social media platforms are these people on? And it will tell you. So there's no excuse in 2024 not to know these things.
No, absolutely not. And along the lines of different platforms, maybe making sure you have the right kind of content on the right kind of platform. So your audience matters, but then also the right kind of content that you're putting out. Because if you're putting out videos more really appropriate for TikTok and you're putting them on LinkedIn, that's not going to fly. So you're really not going to hit the target that you want to hit. So I think that's important too, to be mindful. Some things, of course, work everywhere, but be mindful of what you're posting where, because that can pack a big, big punch.
Okay, I have selling too much. If you've ever gone to somebody's social media and it's just one big commercial and all they ever talk about is their product and it's just pictures of their product with them talking about it. So a lot of times you'll see these are some of the ones that I think are the sneakiest, but also kind of genius. If you're looking at something and it'll be like funny memes or anime memes, that's what I look at. Okay. And it'll be a carousel. And so like the first 4 pictures are going to be like funny memes or whatever. And then on that 5th one, they're selling something. And I feel like that's kind of a double whammy because they can sell every time because they're also giving you a whole bunch of stuff that is not just selling. And if you don't want to look at that last one, you can just keep scrolling. But if all you do, if you're a realtor and every post is just a picture of a house for sale, that's not going to be your biggest impact. There's so many other things that you can talk about. You can give staging tips. You can talk about how the market's doing right now and attract people that may not even be in the market for a house right now that are just interested in those kind of things. And then when they get ready, you're the person that they've been following because they get useful information from you, not just here's this house, here's how much it is, here's this house, this is how much it is, here's another house, this is how much it is.
Or even if they don't, they might tell their friends how great you are. Oh, you should check out this person and how wonderful they are. And I think, as we always say, don't forget the trifecta, the educate, entertain, and inform on top of selling. Yes. Make sure you mix in those wonderful sides and see where your social will go.
As Karen would say, the 80-20 rule, 20% selling, 80% educate, inform, entertain. Mm-hmm. And then people actually have a reason to come look at your stuff. Even after they've bought your product, they have a reason to come look at your stuff. And then maybe you can have them as a customer in the future. Or like you said, word of mouth. Word of mouth is the best advertisement because people trust their friends and their family a lot more than they trust you just saying something about yourself on social media.
Too, along those lines, I don't know about you, but I kind of like Amazon. And you can find anything you want on Amazon, as everyone listening definitely knows. But I'll definitely read the reviews. And even if there's a handful of good ones, if there's 1 or 2 bad ones, I'm already like, oh, no, I don't know about that one. You're going to not only just your friends and family, but other people too. So those testimonials are amazing.
And you can look at the reviews on Amazon and I feel like tell which ones are legit. Because when you hear somebody complaining about something really specific that you were kind of already worried about anyway, you're like, yeah, this one's not for me. Even if it's got 20 in a row that are 5 stars, but then you get those couple 1 and 2 stars and you're like, that's what I was worried about is that thing right there. And it may not be a big deal to somebody else, but now I don't want it.
Is it somebody scanning labels at their mom's house? Like trying to get reviews.
And I will tell you, if I leave a review, then you know I either loved or hated it.
Right.
because I don't leave 3-star reviews. I leave
Nope.
a 1 or a 5. So if I am either excited enough or mad enough to post a review, I'm going to tell you everything.
Yeah, it has to really hit either good or bad to leave one.
And I love going to local places like local shops, local restaurants, and having amazing service and going and leaving them a review because I know how important it is because people get on
Right.
there and they look at those reviews and especially for the small businesses. So just on a tangent, if you are out and you really, really enjoy the service you receive at a small business, go leave a review because that really helps them a lot.
Absolutely. And it's funny that you say reviews because that's on my list too, not to ignore negative ones. So if you're a small business owner and get back to our topic and you get negative reviews, you might want to address that because really how you react says a lot.
That was actually on my list as well. And one of the mistakes that I see is not just not responding, but responding in a completely inappropriate way.
Yes.
You did something and you actually made a mistake, but then you double down and blame it on your customer. That doesn't look good. That's not a good look. Nobody's going to like that.
Right. For sure.
And I know that the immediate, like knee jerk response is to defend yourself, but sometimes you need to not do that.
It might be a good time, like when your mom always said, count to 10 before you do anything, or as a mom, you have to say stuff like that to yourself. That might be a really good time to apply that. And you might have to count to 100, but it's okay. Do the counting and then respond.
Make out your response and send it to a few people you trust and say, do you think this is good? Should I post this? And if they say absolutely not, listen to them.
Right.
They are your friends. They are for you. Do not do it. It's so easy when you're in the heat of the moment and you're just angry and you just want to fire back at somebody. But you have to think, is this what's best for how I'm feeling right now? Or is this what's best for my business, which is the most important thing? Because the best revenge for someone who is just trying to be ugly to you, even if it's not true, is having a successful business. So
yeah, that and more engagement on your platform.
absolutely. That was my last one.
I was going to ask you how you felt about the balance between bringing in like automated information into social media. And I know and what I mean is we rely a lot on scheduling and those kind of things. Like even on Messenger, we have all of our accounts programmed to have an immediate response, just so that there is an immediate acknowledgement. What would you say is the fine line on relying on that too much? Because you can't wear all the hats all day long. So where do you draw the line there?
I feel like what you mentioned with the immediate response is good because that's not the final response. That's just like a, hey, we're so glad you reached out to us. We'll get back to you. I feel like the problem is when you start having bots that are reaching out unsolicited to people that have not requested information and you're just sending these bots out everywhere, just trying to get cold leads. And I feel like that's never a good idea.
Yeah, totally agree.
Or when you have AI writing everything for you and you're not even going back and looking over it and making it personalized, you're just letting AI. And I don't know about you, but my personality and ChatGPT's personality are not the same. So if I just let ChatGPT write everything for me, I'm going to seem kind of boring.
You know, and ChatGPT is relatively new, but I don't know about you, but I always see some of the same words pop up in my responses, delve and dive and like all these ones. And you're like, please stop using that. I'm going to change it. I'll stop.
Right.
And I just, come on, chat. Let's get on board here. Quit doing that. I guess I need to tell it, don't ever use this ever again in any of my searches. But
one of the things that's funny to me too is when you say, okay, I want you to explain this, and it explains it and it sounds like so dry and so boring. And then you're like, explain it to me as if I were a college student. And then all of a sudden it's like, no cap, this is totally, oh God, like so cool. And you're just like, this is not what I wanted. Yeah, this is not what I asked for.
It is so fun to mess around with ChatGPT and tell it stuff like that. Oh, it's so great.
And if you have something you really don't understand, get ChatGPT to explain it to you like you're a 5-year-old and you'll understand it. I've done that. I've been like, explain this to me as if I am a 5-year-old. And it's like, okay, so imagine. And it tells you like this whole little story. And by the end of it, you actually know what's going on.
ChatGPT is ruling the world.
Again, if you are a student, don't use ChatGPT to write your papers. There are ways they can figure out that you did that.
Yeah.
You don't want to fail because you don't want to fail because ChatGPT wrote your paper. And 2, you don't want to not know how to write papers because you had ChatGPT.
Yeah, those are good life skills you really need in the future.
Sometimes reading and writing are very important.
Just saying. But and I would say at the end of the day, after all these things that we've said, don't let any of them stop you from getting started.
You got to start somewhere. And one of the things that we like to say is when you first start, nobody's going to see it anyway. So that's the time to make all the mistakes and get your practice in and get better. And that's the only way you get better is just by doing.
Absolutely.
Or by hiring us to do it. Either way. Because we've already practiced and made all the mistakes. So,
oh my goodness.
A smart person learns from their mistakes. A smarter person learns from the mistakes of others.
Yeah. Sometimes easier said than done, but hey, we're right there with you.
You've seen the thing that's like, I don't just make a mistake once and learn from it. I like to make it 4 or 5 times just to be sure.
Right.
So Karen, I know that you have some that you've just been biting your lips not to scream out while we've been talking. So tell us, what are the biggest mistakes that you see businesses making with regards to social media that we maybe didn't hit?
Not having video in your marketing plan would be my number one.
Oh, yeah. As we are now making this video right here.
Yes. You have to embrace video. Short form video is everywhere, but there are still people who will just brands, company who just won't do it. And it's hurting you. Like we're past the point where you need to be doing it by a lot.
There's a reason people refer to TikTok as the rabbit hole and not Facebook.
I would also say, and I can't say this loud enough, stop buying followers. It does not help you. It wrecks your engagement. It is not setting you up for success. Focus on your community and transparency to proceed. It's better to have 100 engaged followers than 1,000 people who don't know who you are.
Any day.
Anytime that you're talking about buying people, it's just a bad idea. Let's not ever buy people.
You can't just be talking about buying people on the podcast, Becky.
Don't buy people.
Solid advice, Becky.
I stand firm and I am proud to say don't buy people. Don't do it.
All right. You guys touched on this some already, but one size did not fit all. You do not need to be on all the platforms. The same information does not need to be on all the platforms. It needs to be geared for your audience on that specific platform with that specific messaging.
Karen hates it when you push straight from Instagram to Facebook. That's a big pet peeve. Because why would they follow you on both if you're just going to put the same information there?
And people on Facebook those hashtags and tags, they don't translate to Facebook from Instagram. You're just wearing out your Facebook audience. They hate it. And I would say my last thing would be no call to action. You spend all this time on social media, promoting your business, but you don't have a reason for them to reach out to you. Give them something. Becky, what's the word? The cool free thing. What is it called?
Oh, your lead magnet?
That's
yeah.
bad.
And also, if you want to reach out, maybe give them a way to reach out. That's the other thing. Call me today and there's no number. There's nothing to click. There's nothing to...
There's no email.
If you only entertain, but your job is not entertainer, you're not really helping yourself on social media.
Right. There has to be some reason to engage with you. So having some kind of hook, some kind of lead magnet, some kind of landing page where people can actually go and give you their information. Because as much as I love social media, and I do, it's more rented. You don't really own that lead until you have the email in your hand. How do you do that? You convert them on the landing page. So, yeah.
Now I'm singing What You Own from Rent in my head. Thanks, Karen.
You're welcome.
I'll be listening to that after we get done with this.
It's a lot. It can be overwhelming for us. So I cannot imagine being someone who's just starting a business and having to deal with all this stuff. I facilitated a roundtable a couple of weeks ago for small business function, and I felt terrible for the participants because their faces were just, it's overwhelming.
It's a lot.
I have to be on social media, and I have to have an email list, and I have to have a lead generator, and I need a website. And is my messaging done? And is my branding right? It's a lot. So yeah, that's what we're here for.
Small business is not for sissies. It's a lot of work.
No kidding.
When we are doing social media for a client, we spend a lot of time on getting everything right and scheduling and posting and making sure the graphic is beautiful and all this stuff. Now imagine if you're like one of the realtors we were talking about earlier and you have all of that in addition to doing your own paperwork and giving open houses and taking people on tours and selling homes and going to closings. It's literally like a second full-time job on top of your full-time job if it's done correctly. So it can be overwhelming, especially if you try to do too much. And that's where the inconsistency comes in.
Well, and I will say this from the hilltops, you do not have to know how to do everything. That is exactly what our team is for. You don't have to know how to code to have a website. You don't need to know all the ins and outs to set up your own. It's okay to outsource. I'm not an accountant, thank God, because I would be so bad at that. And it doesn't make sense for me to struggle with that when I could pay a bookkeeper to do it. Especially as a small business owner with limited time and resources, focus on what makes you money and give everything else away.
And when you look at the time you spend on it, you're not losing money on the accountant because your time is valuable. And if you look at what you charge hourly for your time, you're saving money on the accountant by not having to spend way longer than they have to spend on it to do your own accounting.
I've been doing this a while. When I very first started outsourcing different things for my own personal, like, yes, I can go outside and cut the grass, but I would pay this much versus making this much money in the same amount of time. It was very quickly obvious. It's better to focus on what makes you money. Plus, I'm very bad. You can't be great at everything unless you're Becky.
I'm not great at cleaning or cooking.
Yeah.
Things that other people think are really important. I actually read one time that if Bill Gates stops to bend over and pick up a quarter, he loses however much money in the time it takes him to like bend over and pick up that quarter because
Oh my goodness.
he makes so much money with what he does. And it's like, wow, I can't imagine. Like he needs to pay somebody to pick up a quarter for him because he loses that much money with his time. His time is that valuable.
People don't seem to realize that there's a vast difference between billion and million. Yeah.
True that.
I'd be happy with either.
I wouldn't turn down either.
No. We'll be driving down the street and we'll see like this beautiful mansion house. And one of my kids will be like, I don't really like that one. It's ugly. What do you think? And I'm like, if they gave it to me, I wouldn't say no. Right? It's nicer than where I'm at right now. So they're so picky about these like mansions. And I'm just like, wow.
You know, I had to go look it up. 1,000,000 seconds is 12 days, but 1,000,000,000 seconds is 31 years.
Wow.
Wow. That puts it in perspective.
It really does. He should never pick up anything. You drop 100, he just needs to keep on going.
This week in social media, you've been seeing a lot about bear versus man. This is not a new reality show with Bear Grylls. This is a question that was posed. And Karen, why don't you explain it to us and then we'll all give our answers.
A reporter on the street asked multiple women the question, if you were alone in the woods and you came across a random bear and a random man, who would you rather it be, the bear or the man? And every woman picked the bear. And there has been so much discussion about this online because some men are so offended because in their head, they're not grasping the concept. It's not about fighting the bear versus fighting the man. It's about knowing versus not knowing. A bear is an entity that is known. It is not stalking you. It is not planning to hurt you or kidnap you. And a lot of times if you make noise and you tell it to go away, it will. On the other hand, that's not always the case.
I had this conversation with my husband. He didn't know anything about it because he's not a big social media guy. And so I asked him the question and he was like, well, I guess the man, because the bear is probably going to try to eat you, but the man may or may not be a bad guy. And I was like, listen, I've been in the woods and seen bears. On to Gatlinburg. We've been hiking. I've seen bears and not one time has one of them tried to hurt me. I know that sometimes bears do eat people, but if you look at the number of deaths caused by bears and the number of deaths caused by men every year, especially towards women, the bears come out smelling like a rose in that statistic. So bear every time.
There's just a handful of fatalities from a bear in the last 100 years. And 1 in 3 women gets assaulted. The statistics support the bear all day. Your odds of being attacked by a bear are 1 in 2 million. And your odds of being attacked by a man are 1 in 5.
Wow.
So it's crazy to me. And going through and seeing some of those videos, it's heartbreaking to read the comments because so many women have spoken up about their own personal experiences, to have a man come behind them and make a video about why they're wrong. You can't tell them they're wrong about their feelings or their experience.
I've maced a man before. Have I ever maced a bear? No, I have not.
There's one video where the man comes on and he's like, my mom was attacked by a bear and she lived. And then the mom responded with, and I'd still choose the bear.
Laura, who do you pick, the man or the bear?
Statistically, there's not a choice.
Also, I got to thinking, like, the way the question is worded, if I'm in the woods, I might be more expecting to see some random bear, but what's this
Exactly.
random guy doing out in the woods?
Just this weirdo in the woods that's looking at me. You have all of these professional park rangers and hikers and rock climbing women who have posted video after video of, I've scared a bear off. I've walked past a bear with cubs.
Yeah.
I've watched bears around me play. But the thing that scared me to death was the man that walked up to my camp, or the random guy that walked out of the woods. That's weird.
Yes.
When there's nobody around you, you know what I mean? That's like the big thing. If you were in the city and a bear walked up and there was a guy, that's a different situation. But in the middle of the woods, yeah,
That's where they live, guys. That's where they live.
There's a woman who has a bear that comes by her house just to see her, and he'll open the door and put his head in.
Oh, that is terrifying.
He'll come in here and she'll boop him on the ear. That's insane, but
Gentle Ben up in here.
gentle Ben.
Only the people on this podcast know what I'm talking about, because all the younger people listening are just like, what?
I'm like, you pulled that out of the archives, Becky.
how about Grizzly Adams?
Yeah,
Grizzly
that would do.
Adam.
He had a bear.
I mean, see, bears are my favorite animal. Actually, because we're on the video today, you can see this is my favorite animal right here. It's a panda bear. If you're just listening, you have to go watch the video to see what I'm talking about. But there's a really cute panda bear. You can see.
It's not really a fair comparison between pandas and any other bear. Pandas are the most lazy animal on the planet.
I will think they will eat your face, though.
Well, if you make them mad, but I watched a video of a mother panda literally trade her baby for an apple the other day.
The one baby panda sneezes and the mom like jumps out of her skin. That is one of my favorite videos of all time.
I like the ones where, I don't know, it's in an Asian country somewhere, and they're trying to take care of them in the zoo, and all the little ones are following, and they're like, she's trying to sweep and he's climbing the broom, and like all of that stuff. Hilarious. They're so
They're
cute.
adorable.
Or the videos where the people are dressed in panda costumes and are feeding them like their bamboo while other people are doing stuff. And it's funny to me because they're dressed as pandas and their job is like panda handler. And I'm thinking, how do I get this job?
No
I
kidding.
would love to just dress like a panda and
You
hold.
haven't had that job, Becky. You've
I
had
have
every other
not.
job. That's next.
Wow.
Panda handler.
Y'all think that I have a story for everything. I actually have a man in the woods story.
All right, let's have it.
Me and my dad were hiking one day. Me and my dad used to go hiking all the time. And we were hiking through the woods and we came up on this guy that had like a tent, and he was like camping in the middle of nowhere. And he was like kind of standoffish, as you would be if you were camping in the woods and like strangers walked up. We were the strangers, right? But I just got a really bad vibe from him. And so did my dad. And my dad just grabbed my hand and we were like, okay, nice to see you. Have a good one. And we left. And then later on the news found out that that guy had escaped from prison.
Awesome.
And they were on the lookout for him. And we ran into him camped in the woods.
Bear all day. Team bear.
Team bear.
Oh my goodness. And I would also say your gut is the strongest thing. Trust your gut.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I found Southern until I talked to people who are not Southern. And then
Before she got on here, I said hotel and Laura made fun of me.
She didn't say hotel. She said hotel.
The police.
And I mean, I'm a Southern girl, but that was funny.
there is no denying Becky is Southern. There it is.
Mine kind of I feel like I was never super crazy Southern, but when I've moved a lot of places over my life, and I feel like it kind of tailors to where I am. But when I come back to Alabama, wow. And my daughter, who's never lived in Alabama, when she comes there, she picks it up fast. It's
Dude,
weird.
what is super crazy Southern? What is that?
Harley, 8 years old and redheaded and sounds like she just fell off a turnip truck, is super popular here in Ohio.
Oh, I bet.
Because she is just like the epitome of Southern child.
What is it that Leah always says?
Black.
Black.
It's the eyes.
Black.
The eyes are where you get us.
I love it.
Nicole does it too. She's
I
like,
love
"Do you want me to turn off the slot?" I'm like, "The what?" She's like, "The what?"
I love it. We have the best team.
We do.
When I was in school, I majored in musical theater. They had to work really hard with me to get it to where I didn't sound like Reba McEntire. And they finally beat it out of me enough to where I sounded like a Disney princess when I would sing. And so then I would be in these shows and I would sing like a Disney princess and I would talk in very proper standard English. And then people would meet me after the show and they'd be like, wow, okay, yeah, you really are acting.
Becky, don't let me down.
I still want to see Becky as Dolly Parton.
There was a video of it somewhere. There is a video of a piece of it that they played on Good Day Alabama or something.
Challenge accepted.
There's no video. You'll never find it.
Stay tuned for next week when we found a video of Becky.
Well, I'm about to put out a reward for anybody on our team who could find it.
A reward.
I was talking to my kids the other day about when I used to do theater, and I was like, if you Google me, you can find pictures of shows I've been in. And they're like, no, you can't. I'm like, yeah, you can. So we Googled me and we found me. And then Briar, who is in kindergarten, starts saying like, when you were a star, did you, blah, blah, blah. When you were a star, all the questions started out with when you were a star. And it was the cutest thing. And I didn't have the heart to tell him I was not a star.
That's so cute.
I did Birmingham local theater, but it
Still are a star.
In his eyes, I am a star. And shout out to the Birmingham theater community.
Great theater.
Social media hotline this week.
Woo!
See, I said it there, hotline. Hotline this week. You ready? Yeah.
Hi. Mm-hmm. Okay, so your business caters to kids 18 to 22, and you're only on Facebook. Okay, well, that's the problem. If you want to talk to a younger audience, you have to be on a younger platform. You call me back when you're on YouTube and TikTok. Okay, bye-bye.
Relatable. We've seen that. We talked about it earlier. We've seen that so much.
Right?
I sell club clothes to 22-year-olds, and I'm only on Facebook. They're not seeing it. If you want to sell clothes on Facebook, it needs to be, hey, I'm cleaning out my closet. Check comments for prices. Not, this is my business.
Yeah.
This is true. So true. It matters where you are.
It does.
It all comes back around to, you can't be all things to all people. You have to pick the platform that works best for you, especially if you're doing it yourself. 1 or 2 platforms is plenty. And again, I said this at the small business roundtable. We're on 7 platforms. Do you think I am doing that at all? 100% no. We have a team of people who do that. There is no way we could be doing a short or reel every day.
The only person that could do that was if they were doing nothing else, literally nothing else.
If they were the dedicated social media person that didn't have to do any of the other functions of the business.
You can't be an army of one. Not for that.
And even a dedicated social media person isn't going to be an expert at everything. I feel like we're so fortunate that we have a team.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Our team is so competitive. We will have polite competitions for graphics where you guys try to kill each other. And I'll be the first person. You left me in the dust for graphics about, 4 years ago. This team just, when Canva took off, you guys took off with it. I mean, you were good before, but this team does such good graphics and they're so expedient and just so good. Yeah, I can't do it. So now when I need a graphic, I'm like, Laura, will you make me a graphic?
But in all fairness, you stopped doing it and you started farming them out to us. If you were doing it right along with us, you'd be the same spot. But
I would not, in fact, be anywhere close to as good as you guys. Yeah.
Listen, in the last year, I have two times, maybe 3 times, either won or placed in one of our graphic contests. And I have felt so amazing just because I feel like the people on our team are so good at graphics that I'm just like, how did I luck out and happen to be in the top on any of this? Because we've got people that are just, I'm not like down talking myself. I'm up talking the people on our team that are just like so amazingly good. People like Laura and Leah.
I'll never win those, so don't count me.
Yeah, Michaela's our newer team member, but dang, she's good at graphics.
Jason, Nicole, like Jason, everybody's good.
Yeah, it's not really, I mean, to be fair, nobody's bad at it. All of you guys are so great. Makes the competition part so good.
And as soon as somebody will get all theirs in, they're like, have you looked at it yet, Karen? Have you judged it yet?
Yes, that is
Yes. And I've started asking my friends and family to go look at them because I don't feel right picking it by myself anymore because it's too hard.
It needs to be so many random different times because different people like different things. And yeah,
I'm going to say I do better with people that are not Karen because Karen's style and my style are totally different. So I have actually done better when she's asked other people to judge because there are other people that actually like things that I like.
I don't know. I feel like I'm the weird one. I must not think like everybody else.
Well, to be fair, Becky's style means let's put some glitter on it.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
There's always room for more color. Also, it needs to spin around in a circle. Yeah.
But some clients need that.
So. Gratisography is my favorite stock photo site.
Of course.
It caters to whimsical photography. I am who I am. Look at my hair.
Yeah. That's the other
we love every inch of you, Becky.
Yeah, we do. And that's the other benefit of being an older woman. I don't care.
Yeah.
This is it. This is good as it's getting right here.
When I was 12, I wasn't allowed to do this stuff. I'm doing it now.
Just like Tawanda.
Right.
Becky, are you still roller skating?
Sometimes. I don't do it as often just because I had a place in Alabama to do it that was free. And I don't have that in Ohio.
Yeah.
But there is a church parking lot across the street from my house. There's no shade though. So like in the summertime, it's just like this black asphalt and the hot sun and you will melt if you're there longer than 5 minutes. But I do go over there sometimes when the kids are like riding bikes.
Yeah.
It's just as easy to break your leg at the church as it is anywhere else. Becky, go ahead.
I will say the wooden floors of a skating rink are a lot more forgiving, I bet, than the pavement. I bet.
Oh, that hurts my old lady heart to think about falling on asphalt.
I understand my limitations. I realize that I'm a year away from 50. I wear knee pads, a helmet, and elbow pads. I look like a total fool when I'm skating, but it is worth it to me to look like a fool to not end up in the emergency room.
Yeah. Your insurance agent thanks you.
Yes. But I don't there's nothing they make for your booty. So if I fall backwards, it's just going to hurt. I have a friend that actually broke her tailbone skating. She's younger than me. And we were like skating buddies and she broke her tailbone. And that scared me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Broken tailbone takes weeks, makes everything more difficult. Like,
she's in her 30s and she broke her tailbone. I should be careful.
I think I broke my tailbone in my 30s. I never went to the doctor because you just suck it up and go on. But I couldn't sit for a long time.
That's you.
What are they going to do? They're not going to do anything.
You don't know. Then give me the total. No. No, thank you.
So can we go back to the roller skating thing? And you know what videos are fun to watch? Or when like the old guys from the 80s are like doing the roller skating and doing their little synchronized stuff. I think those are mesmerizing. You know, I'm showing my age.
I can remember being like 12 at the skating rink and seeing the guy that had the whistle that like worked at the skating rink out there just being amazing and thinking, man, that's what I want to do with my life. I want to be like the really good skating person at the skating rink.
That's awesome.
And I still struggle to skate backwards. So like I did not arrive. Skate backwards very slowly and shakily, but forwards I'm okay.
But you're trying. You're going to be that 95-year-old old lady who, I don't know, can do anything because, you know, you've always tried new things.
When I break a hip, it's not going to be because I was moving from one chair to the other.
That's right. That's right.
Because I was roller skating on a zip line.
Like he's my spirit animal.
I have zip lined in a panda costume. We were talking about panda costumes earlier.
It keeps getting weirder, Becky.
Yes, it was for the scavenger hunt. I did have a helmet on under my panda head, though. I was very safe.
That is awesome. Oh, my word.
There's a video of it somewhere. I should find it.
But of course there is. I already put a reward in Slack. Dolly Parton video.
Oh, yeah. It's blowing up. All the people are.
No one's going to find it. They probably don't even have it out anymore.
Leah already did.
It's not the one where on Today, Alabama. She probably found like the promo. They had a little promo. There was this promo where the wig wasn't even ready yet, and they still did the promo, and it was awful.
Okay, you know what's so funny? Our Slack channel is hilarious. They're already like, you already posted the cash reward for Becky playing Dolly. And now they're like, speaking of cash reward, who won the Mother's Day graphics, Karen?
Oh, brutal.
Look at young Becky there.
Cute. I thought that was Dolly.
Yeah. And this is literally, these pictures were taken. This is not me singing on Good Day Alabama. These are just pictures. But these were taken before the wig was finished and before we had our final costumes and stuff. So I actually looked totally different in the actual show.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a mullet wig.
Yeah, that was a terrible wig. They ended up fixing it up really cute.
A little bit.
How cute, though, Becky. I wish I'd have seen that.
I do have a picture way, way, way back on my Instagram of me in my first costume from the show that I will only show you guys. I will find it and show you later.
Becky, you have the best stories.
She really does.
I have lived a charmed life.
I just sit here in my boring self and listen.
For those who are wondering about,
There's the mullet wig. I have better pictures that are not the mullet wig.
Man, if you're listening, you really got to check out the video so you can see the picture.
Right.
yeah.
You're not going to have any idea. This is the wig after it was fixed.
Oh, so much cuter. Yes. That's so cute.
yeah, that's so much better. Oh, and just heads up, they've already put videos in there too. It was that's how fast they did it. If it's online, if you post it on any social media platform, it's going to live forever.
Holy cow, they did.
I don't even know if I know what this video is. Let me look. It's a promo.
It counts.
So the one on Good Day Alabama was just me solo singing Backwoods Barbie. If anybody can find that, that'll be the gem.
Did you see Leah? I'll accept Venmo.
Leah's no joke with the contest, man. She's good.
She competitive. Woo! She's so competitive. So is Michaela. It's good for them.
Jason says if I go missing, I want Leah on the case.
No kidding.
No kidding.
Okay, sipping social tea. The videographer who recorded the event would need until tomorrow to caption the video. Instead, can you just caption it manually and post it on social tonight? It won't take that long. I think we all know the reason that I picked that one. It's because I'm the person that gets told that.
Video editing is a challenge by itself, but sound syncing and caption generation, it takes time to do it.
Oh, yeah. Even if you use a program for the captions, you can't trust it. You still have to go back and edit it. And the sound syncing.
Sound syncing is what?
Worst.
Here it is.
I did one once where it was the worst because they had one sound clip, but 11 video clips. So instead of just sending one sound clip and one video clip that I could put together, then cut into 11 pieces, they already cut the video into pieces. And I had on the sound where each one of them went. Then the last time I did it, what was crazy, I don't even understand this. It was one video, one audio. They were from the same recording, but when I would match them up perfectly, within like 3 minutes, they would be a little off again. So I had to go in and cut and adjust like every 3 minutes, but it was the same. But somehow the audio was faster than the video, even though they were recorded at the same time and it was the same event. I don't know how it worked. I don't know how it works. I don't understand it. I just hate it.
That's torture right there. That's torture.
Because video was like an hour long.
Ugh.
So I had to listen to the whole thing to sync it up and stop every 3 minutes and adjust. So it took me forever. I know Karen is like looking at my hours, like, why did it take you 3 hours to do this one video? And I'm like,
I know, and it takes long.
it was a lot.
But to be fair, if it takes Becky 3 hours, it takes someone else 6 hours because she's the fastest one we have.
It was a lot.
This is
That's
true.
a lot.
You feel like at this point, and maybe if you're like rich and have unlimited access to things, it is, but you feel like there at this point would be a readily available program that would just do that for you automatically. And if there is, and we just don't know about it, please send us a message and let us know. But I don't know of anything that will do that for you automatically that is not in the budget of like Steven Spielberg.
But none of it's error proof anyway. My name is
Right.
For example, it's terrible and it's never going to be right.
Karen with a K, because she likes to talk to the manager.
Even my last name, Karatis, they don't interpret that well either.
To be fair, I wouldn't know what a Taratus was if I didn't know you. So next week, I would like us to talk about a typical day in the life of a social media manager. So for those people that are listening to this, that are thinking about exploring the glamorous life of a social media manager, they will know exactly what they're getting into.
Pure chaos.
I thrive on the chaos. That's why I'm here. That's why I have 9 kids. That's why I've had 50 jobs. That's why I do this for a living. I thrive on the chaos.
Yeah.
That says something about me, I'm sure.
You need that shirt that says chaos coordinator.
I had one. Somebody made me one. Perfect. My friend Christina actually made me one of those. It's no secret that I live for the chaos. I feel like just things can be so boring if you just are the same every day.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do that. How do you get up and just do the same thing every day? And
tired.
be happy. I get burnt out.
That way about people who go to an office. How can you go sit in the same office every day? I will say, I would like to input from our podcast listeners. We are looking to do some webinars for small business and nonprofit. And I would love to know what you want to hear about. What topics interest you? What can and these are free webinars. I need information on topics. So you guys tell us in the comments what you would be interested in learning more about.
You can put it in the comments, or you can email info@yoursocialyou.com, YOUR social, the letter U.com. Just email info and let us know.
Did you see what Leah said to Jason?
Yep. Y'all are so much faster than me. I'm terrible on site.
She's like, I take Venmo. And he said, to be fair, she said cash reward. She didn't say how much. It could be $1. And she said, do you want me to look for your body or not? That is awesome.
That's hilarious. No kidding. Love it. See you next week. Thanks for listening to the Social U podcast, sponsored by Social University. We'll see you next week.